that influential?
So now, because it simply saw me as,
Yeah.
I think it saw
As
me
a
as
leader.
a good person,
Yeah.
and I was responsible. But I would say for me, it was more of the leadership roles that I had.
Yeah.
So when he took his son to that same school, the boy got spoiled.
Okay.
And this time I can tell you it wasn't because of the school itself.
It's just the
But
person.
yes, it was just the person. So that's where I got it wrong. Everyone has their own
Personality,
own personality and their paths.
Yeah. So there's something I want to ask you, Solomon. We had a hackathon the other day, and I heard this from the hackathon that student leaders here, even from primary school, they are being chauffeured, using Toyota TX. Is that true, or is it just they were pulling my leg?
I don't think so.
But it sounded like this person who said it, they sounded so serious. I was like, how the context was this? So I give an example where people have to, put in measures for 5-10 years,
Okay.
to plan and execute without being distracted by corruption, by what is happening around.
Yes.
And someone said, you know what, there are guys who are just student leaders, who are elected by student, voting system.
Okay.
And they're chauffeured around using TX. You know TX is a big car.
Yes, I do.
And one of the guys built a voting system. So there's a guy who suggested that they should sell that voting system for such elections to test if it works nationwide. Do you get the point?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, by the time now, if that is happening, it should be happening at a higher level.
Private schools?
So there is also the influence of the parents.
Okay.
Yes, they happen in private schools, and also the university, I would say. Now, when you get to the university,
for sure,
you're in a place where now
even
the political parties are looking at you, and all that. They'll definitely give you the funding.
Yeah.
If you look at the campaigns in the universities, you'll find a lot of money wasted, and
and influence.
I don't want to call it wasted, but they spend a lot of money to have things done. Now, at one that I remember where we're looking at, I think at really a lower level, was yes, there was that allegation that came. I really didn't dig so much deep into that, but there was that mention of students are now spending a lot of money, and that is usually fueled by their parents. But at a higher level, that would be expected because of But if you look at the majority of the schools, that may not really be happening. But there is a lot of buying of votes as well. I remember the times we and that secondary school level. I mean, in Tororo, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
I think the ones that we could really talk about was more around use sweets. Basically use sweets,
mandazis.
But it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much.
I see. By the way, I can relate.
But like you mentioned, it's now if you go to that other level, it's more of the those international schools where there's a lot of spending.
Yeah. I mean, that made sense, and even I was almost tempted to ask, is this like international school? Is it a private school? Because I cannot. Well, maybe from my understanding, and I'm not ruling it out, neither am I saying it's happening. I'm just saying that when they mentioned that, it even showed me how people have changed. At that level, people are discussing like their students in primary school or senior school who are being chauffeured using TX. And that's, for me, it's the same thing. Like at the university level, I will not be surprised if someone is chauffeured or something, or they have a lot of money to go around. No. Let's leave that alone. So you just graduate from high school. Did you perform well in that level?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, of course, that's where you know.
You're saying like that's a rhetorical
I
question.
had to. I mean, I came to the university. I did software engineering and all that. That's not for someone who has really, you know. It's not for someone who has failed.
But do you say? So you joined Makerere University, the university.
Yes.
Yeah. So how was that experience transitioning from senior school? I know at this point you're meeting now international student, like for sure.
Now that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
So one, I don't know if you'd finished asking your question, but I think because of the excitement, I had to jump straight into that.
By all means.
So when I joined the university, first of all, yes, I applied to the university. Now the university I was given was Chambogo University.
I see.
We all know that Makerere University, you know, is the best and all that, but I really wanted Chambogo University.
It is the best.
Yes. So when that happened, I came to, and now my dad talked, he was a friend to the registrar of Makerere University.
Yeah.
So after seeing my name at, in Chambogo University, he was like, no, but your son could come and do a course, software engineering. It's a new course. By then, I didn't really know what software engineering was.
And that is 2009?
Yes, 2009.
Okay.
And so if you look at that time, we had the courses which were there was, you know, we had computer science and information technology.
Yeah.
Those were the two courses at the college. By then, faculty of information technology. So the new courses which were introduced were software engineering and information systems.
Yeah.
Right now, information systems has been they have again merged the two, information systems and information technology.
Yeah.
So when my dad heard that there was that course, I was like, you should come and apply for this.
Yeah.
Go and meet the registrar, go and see the registrar, and you talk about, you know, see if it's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah.
So when I got to the university, meeting the registrar, he was like, okay, this is a new course, but it's a good one. What you can do, apply for it. It's really a good course. I was like, okay, let me apply for this, and I did.
And you got it.
I got the course, and one thing I remember when during that orientation week, our one of the lecturers came and, you know, was trying to, you know, find out from the students. So what do you think you're going to do after your software engineering?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me hear what these guys will say. Some people said, you know, we are going to become programmers. Some people say we're going to become project managers, like several things.
Yeah.
But of course, they did not. He did not tell us what. And I can tell you all they were all right.
Yeah.
Now, along the way, we started, of course, studying, and, you know, you begin to discover. You begin to discover, and then I said, okay, I think it's actually a good course.
Yeah. So for you are not sure this is what you want to do?
From the word go, I wasn't sure.
Because number one, you didn't understand what it's all about.
I didn't understand.
Okay.
But one thing I knew about myself, I really loved computers. But the in-depth understanding of, you know, the software engineering and all that, I did not have that much. Yeah. So I just had a broad picture of, okay, but I did not know. Then again, it takes us to, you know, the expectations of after you've left the university. How much is going to be, you know, your salary and all that kind of stuff. So expectations were also very high, comparing ourselves, you know, to international standards, looking at what they're paying in the US and all that. Yeah. So we discovered a lot, and by the time we got out, I think we were somewhere. We understood what we would do. Let me say myself, I understood what I would do. after getting out of,
How many years were those?
while I was getting out of the university, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years of studying.
So let's not just pass through it because there's so much that happens at the university. I want details, you know.
That's true.
Number one, you're meeting beautiful ladies at the university.
You know?
Number two, now you have freedom. You can go to class if you want. Number three, you can wear whatever you want to wear.
Exactly.
You know, there is no restriction. No one will cane you.
True.
But of course, you are expected to pass your exams.
True.
So did you pass all these, trials and tribulations at the university? And how do you manage to maneuver around?
So passing through all those, I think for me...
Maybe we should start with the ladies.
I remember telling people, I share this a lot with my friends.
Yes.
When I joined the university, I actually had a girlfriend.
Already?
I had a girlfriend.
You are ahead of the curve. Back in the village or in Kampala?
Now, we met in our vacation, senior 6 vacation.
That is Tororo.
After finishing senior 6, we went back home, and then we had, of course, your meeting. Now, my father was working in the northern part. That was in Nebi,
Okay.
not Lira, where I stay. So we met that side. She had also gone there for a visit. The sister was there. So we happened to be new people in a place.
Or both of you?
Yes, both of us.
So that's how you connected?
That's how we connected, and we became very good friends. While joining the university, yes, I already had...
so you joined the same university, both of you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Same faculty.
We
joined the same faculty. So
as an African saying, you brought a fish into the ocean. Whatever that means.
Yes.
But
so
yeah.
So how now when that happened, I think for me, after I think in my year 2, in my year 2 we broke up.
Oh, okay.
We broke up.
Okay.
And from that, I think the experience, having that experience just took off my mind things related to women and all that. So I stayed for, I think it took me 7 years to think about a girlfriend. 7 years. And that was...
So it is true even here.
That was several years after leaving the university.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wait a minute. What are your thoughts? So it is also true what they say about if you find a good entrepreneur or engineer, especially in computing, there's a heartbreak somewhere. And it gives them that focus.
I think so. Because for me, I remember it actually happened at a time when we were getting into, doing our tests. Our tests. But so now, much as I was stressed that time, I still remember, one thing I remember is that one of the course units came out, and I was the best. I happened to be the best, and I remember asking myself, but wait.
I was going through this experience.
I was going through this stress and all that, but I managed to be the best in this course unit. What if I wasn't stressed? So I was asking myself, did the stress bring, did it give me something that would help me go through?
Yes.
But that aside, I think for me, the biggest, what I would speak about, it's more about God. I also have another good relationship that,
Nice,
I want to call it good relationship, but does not mean I'm not a sinner. But I think the more we focus on God, the more it comes to your situation,
when you need Him.
Yeah, so I think that's how I overcame a lot of, But one, surprisingly, when we broke up at the university, I had so many friends who were girls.
I see.
So now, while I was in a relationship...
What does that mean?
I really can't tell.
Okay.
But I think I happen to have... so someone tried to explain and was like, okay, I think these girls knew that you had you had a girlfriend, so they
that
didn't
they're
disturb
comfortable with
you
you,
and
okay.
all that. But when they realized you were, single, they decided to come around. But I don't really think that was true. I think my personality is more of I'm a people person.
Yes.
I'm a people person, and in terms of now, when it comes to ladies, they always need, they want support in terms of come discuss for me this and all that, and that's how they
got attracted.
they got attracted to me. And one thing that I also tell people is that probably because I did not ask for more than friendship.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. Like, when you say you had so many girls around, it meant like, you had whatever you needed at any time, whatever that means. But I hear you. So you were straight, like, true friendship.
Exactly.
I have genuine support.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's not true to say that, when a man tells you, or when a lady tells you have a friend, it can be just a genuine friend.
Yeah, a genuine friend. And actually, one thing I also noted was that if you ask these ladies, I asked one of them after university, and I was like, what if I asked for more than friendship? And she goes straight away and tells you, you wouldn't be my friend.
Oh, I see.
And that I have seen that a lot.
Yeah.
You have so many friends who are girls, and they come to you and you want more than friendship.
I see.
They will run away from you.
Yeah.
Some of them will give in, but a good number, I believe, if they're really serious, they'll simply run away. But
and do you have one there who is genuinely interested in you more than friend?
I think I just decided that time. Yeah, some of them passed, of course. I mean, they would give you signals, but I think I simply switched off the line for relationships and how getting to, yes. I simply switched off and focused on my books and going to church, pray and stuff like that.
You have said something very, very important that I find really interesting with the entrepreneurs that I've talked to so far about spirituality and religion. So, are you spiritual or are you religious?
I would say spiritual.
Spiritual. Religion
is not really anything to focus on.
Yeah. Why?
Because at the end of the day, when you look at salvation, it's not about a religion. You can say, I'm Anglican, but what do you do as an Anglican?
Yes.
I'm a Catholic. What do you do as a Catholic?
Yes.
So it's about your salvation. Now, for us who are born again, someone is going to tell you, okay, are you a born again Christian and doing the right thing, what God wants you to do and all that.
Yeah.
So you do not tell. Actually, one thing I didn't tell you, that while I was in primary school, I was actually a choir master in a Catholic church, but I wasn't a Catholic.
Okay.
I wasn't. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So I would pray from a Catholic church because I was in a Catholic founded school. And that is what, I was praying to God.
Yes.
I wasn't praying to anyone.
Doesn't matter which religion.
It doesn't really.
Yeah.
Maybe there are others that may go beyond that. I really don't know about them.
Yeah.
The experience I've had is, praying with the Anglicans, the Catholics, then there's the Pentecostals. Those ones I really know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chief, I want to ask you a question around that now that you've said you're more spiritual. So where do you put your spirit, body, and soul? Are they aligned? And when I talk about this is that your spiritual, which needs nourishment in terms of, there are different ways you can nourish your spirit to be always spiritual.
Yes.
Your body, I can see your feet.
Okay.
And your soul. So in this case, I'm talking about mind, body, and soul, right?
Yes.
So your mind, you can be, sharpening your skills, reading, practicing things.
That's true.
So how do you think they're balanced? And if they're balanced, how do you balance them?
I think what you need to understand in life, in whatever you do, you need to program yourself.
Yes.
You have time for this, you have time for that, and all that.
Yes.
And do not, I think for me, the most important is for you to have, if you have an alignment with your spiritual, if your spirituality is aligned,
Yes.
well aligned, you're going to be, it's going to be perfect.
So you're saying if you focus more on your spirit,
Yes,
everything else aligns to that.
exactly. Why do we're in the season of Lent. People are fasting.
Yes.
You need to make your body weak so that you are stronger spiritually.
Say that again.
You need to make your body weak. That's the reason for fasting.
Yes.
Make your body weak, and then spiritually you're stronger.
Yeah.
So that when you pray, it's more about, the spirit is stronger, and you can
It takes over.
Yes, it takes over. But we always have the forces fighting. There's a spiritual. I mean, your body, and then the soul. So you look at. So what happens is it's also biblical where. There's a lot of script. I may not give a scripture
The
right now.
specific scripture.
Yes.
Don't worry about that. You can
Yeah.
give us the context and then we can check the scriptures.
There is where I don't remember who exactly who said I do the things that I do the things that I don't want to do, and I do not do the things that I want to do. So when you talk about you do the things that you don't want to do, now that's the need of the body.
Of the body.
Of the body.
Yeah.
Then the spiritual things, it's always overpowered by the body.
Yeah, because the body is at home. That's what they say.
Yes. So,
But the spirit is for. Seriously.
so things, sexual immorality and all that.
Yeah.
Even if you're born again, you're not immune to the things.
True.
So it still takes you to, you can be tempted and you can be overpowered.
Yes.
So you need to feed the soul
Yes.
other than the body.
Yes. Frequently.
Yes.
And one of those things is, fasting, praying, meditation.
Yes.
And the list goes on. So do you think, Solomon, a lot of people nowadays are hypocrites?
I don't want to say that, but quite a number of people fit in that description.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I mean, I have had, I have seen.
But you want to be politically correct.
Yes, I do not want to. I do not want to be. I don't want to be taken on the other
Context,
context, and they're like, what is he saying? But yes, I've seen that, and a lot of people. But you can't ask me in terms of percentage, and I tell you,
of course, yeah. That's not relevant. The point I was going to is that, do you think that is acting in our detrimental in terms of progress as Africans? And I think even before, religions. Yes, Africans used to be spiritual. They used to pray. They used to believe in something. They used to be, community approach about problems.
Yes, it is. It is. When you look at concentration right now, there are very many things. Now, the devil does not want you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And they say the Bible says the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So that means everything that you see that is immoral is heading you to the wrong direction, and that's what the devil wants.
Yeah.
And yet, there is very minimal attempts to take people in the right direction. People don't want to go to church. People don't want to, have those fellowships, read their Bibles. Even the people who are born again struggle a lot with, reading their Bibles and, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it puts us in a place where we are being overpowered by the evil than what is right, what God wants us to do. So one thing that we need to understand is that when you seek God, He guides your footsteps. I think it's in it should be Psalm 16. I don't. It's somewhere in some. I don't remember if
It's
it's
just in there.
Yeah, just
you can go and find it. So,
So-
the point here is what
Yes.
you're trying to say is that we need to have that willingness to seek.
exactly.
It's not easy, but for everyone actually, but we need to be willing because I believe in one thing that I read from the Bible also, that there's only one thing that we have in this world and most people take it for granted.
Yes.
We have the freedom of choice.
Yes.
Now, what we choose actually results to many things that happen to our life. I'm not saying most of the time they're bad, but
Yes.
sometimes they're good. But when you choose God, at least He can guide you to choose the right thing.
That is it. Now, this is what it says. We choose. I mean, we make our plans, but God guides your footsteps. So. You can make your plans, but if you do not involve God in it and you're simply taking the opposite direction,
Yeah.
then God is not going to intervene. God is not going to force you
Yes.
unless He has some other, unless He has designed something, maybe to bring in a testimony of a kind.
Yes.
But God acts when you invite Him.
Yes.
So yes, that taking us now back to that point. If we do not if we do not accept to be, guided by God, then definitely we go off.
Yes. I agree with you. Now, Chief, your life of campus was, of course, starting to begin to invest in spirituality, as you said, that you could have so many ladies around you and have that genuine connection with them without any hidden agenda. And I think this is an affirmation for so many people. It might look light, but there's so many people maybe who are feeling lost, who are feeling like, they are lost out there. And I
know.
understand at that age, sometimes you can be confused. What do you need to do in this life to make it? There's exams, there's maybe school fee arrears.
Very true.
There's a girlfriend who has broken up with you. There's a girlfriend who is asking for money. There's so much that goes on in there.
A lot.
And sometimes maybe when even a parent sends someone to school or to university, they assume, this person is serious enough to have qualified there. But you forget that this is also a human being who is trying to figure out, to understand themselves.
That's true.
So let's not take it, this, it sounds by the way, because you passed through it and it looks like, it wasn't a big deal.
True.
And remember also there are people who are surrounded by these ladies, but all of them want this guy, right?
Yes.
You know that guy
That's
is going
true.
through a lot. So
That's
there's so many scenarios you can look at. And I think if they find their spirituality, they find for God guidance, I'm sure they could get out of it alive. Sometimes people don't get out of these situations.
I know.